All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. My name is Joan Erfurt. And in case you don't know what I do or who I am, I'm a mom and a wife, and I'm a biomagnetic adjustment therapist. So I work on the body to find the root cause of what our ailments are instead of just sort of bandaging it over, bandaging the symptoms. We want to find the root cause. So today we are talking about reducing our toxic load, and I am going to share some slides. We're going to kind of touch in all aspects of our life. So let's see here. All right, let me start this slideshow. Okay, can somebody tell me if you can see this? Yeah, good. Okay, so reducing toxicity. So we're talking really about the endocrine system quite a bit today and the effect that it has. And we're just going to get right into it. Some of these slides, I have a lot of talking points, these first two. So I'm going to try and get through them pretty quick. But really reducing our toxic load is about learning what we consider like an allergen. A lot of people are like, I have allergies, but really, as we were mentioning before class, some things that you wouldn't even consider like an allergen can be to our bodies. And we don't have control over those allergens that are outside of our house, but we do have control over what we bring into our house. The sad thing is that the FDA, we kind of think here in the United States, they're going to protect us, right? They've tested all of these, but they have not even done some of the most simple testing requirements on personal care products. So we need to sort of take control over those cleansers in our homes, our cookware, shower curtains, anything containing those PFAS, the PFAS, which are known as those forever chemicals. And like I said, we don't have a choice of those toxins outside, right? But we do have a choice of what we bring inside of our home. So back to our endocrine system. Our endocrine system has lots of components to it, right? Our thyroid is a main one that we talk about a lot, our adrenals, our pineal gland, hypothalamus, pancreas, pituitary gland, gallbladder. It's all part of that system. And what we may not realize is that these chemicals that are getting into our body actually look like, some of them look like hormones. They mimic what a hormone would look like. So the body will use that chemical, this horrible chemical that's not good for us, in place of a hormone. They trick our bodies into thinking it's a hormone. And so, of course, you know, that's not good for us. That disrupts us. And then in turn, our thyroid goes, well, we have enough of these hormones. I don't really need to continue to produce them. So it can make our own natural hormones have some issues. And then hormones are intertwined. Just like our organs are, our whole body, we are one, right? But an exposure to just one single endocrine disrupting chemical can affect that whole cascade of hormones. And what that does is it makes it really hard when we have issues, physical issues, to go, well, what's the culprit? What's causing this? And so we really want to eliminate as many chemicals as possible and see if maybe we can correct some of those processes in our body. So what does this excessive exposure to these endocrine disrupting chemicals, these EDCs, make us at higher risk for? So we know hormone-related cancers, obesity, diabetes, metabolic issues, cardiovascular issues, neurocognitive issues, and poor thyroid. That's just to name a few. So what are some ways that we're being exposed? For women, we use on average 12 personal care products. Those 12, just 12 products, contain more than 160 chemicals. Men use an average of 6, and they're exposed to about 85 chemicals. And women generally we're also the ones doing the laundry and the cleaning and all of that. So just think about how many chemicals just on a daily basis we're exposed to. And the scary thing is back to, you know, we think we're being protected, that 40 countries in the world have banned 1,400 chemicals, while the US has only banned 9. So, where does that leave us? We know, or we're sharing and learning about the fact that we are exposed to these endocrine disrupting chemicals just through living our normal life. So here are some things that, we end up exposed to are just these normal everyday things, personal care, consumables, and that contain these BPAs, the parabens, the phthalates, the triclosan. And I mean, that triclosan in that bottom image there, right? Everybody uses toothpaste. Everybody, like a lot of people use mouthwash, hand sanitizer, things of that nature that you don't even realize have these chemicals in them. And now we're just going to touch a little bit on air fresheners and candles, because I know people like to keep a spray in the bathroom. Some people have plugins. And the picture on here was actually taken from a cell phone in a doctor's office. And the blue arrow you see at the top that I put on there shows, if you can read it, that it came from the American Lung Association. And so they're even telling in doctors' offices to skip scented candles and air fresheners because they release toxic chemicals. And better option would be diffusing an essential oil or simmering spices like cinnamon and clove on the cooktop. But we're seeing more and more problems with people that have allergies to these air fresheners. And there is not a skin test, like an allergy skin test for these. It just doesn't exist yet. But this Dr. Feynman here that I pulled a quote from, he said scented candles and air fresheners emit these VOCs, which are chemicals that form a gas at vapor or room temperature, and they're present in air fresheners. And one of those things that's included is formaldehyde and petroleum distillates. And we know petroleum is on the cancer list, right? That's something we know we want to steer clear of. And those high concentrations of those VOCs, they trigger things like eye irritation, respiratory irritation. But this very last one on here, that one plug-in air freshener released more than 20 different VOCs. 7 of them were classified as toxic or hazardous under federal laws. So again, even these that are viewed as toxic or hazardous, it's not being regulated by anyone. Now let's switch over to maybe what we put on our skin. We think, okay, well, we're talking about what we're breathing in or those sorts of chemicals, but 60% of what we put on our skin is absorbed into our bloodstream. So what we put on our skin does matter. And I did take a screenshot of the toxic chemicals, some of these top high toxic chemicals that are bad, and in relation to perfumes. So switching over to the perfume or maybe the scented lotion you're putting on your body, it hits our bloodstream in 20 to 30 seconds. And a lot of these chemicals are known carcinogens. They are endocrine disruptors. Again, we know carcinogens cause cancer. Where are we spraying perfume? Typically, it's on our thyroid. What does our thyroid do? It produces the hormones that regulate our metabolic rate. It regulates our heart rate, our digestive function, muscle control, brain development, mood, and bone maintenance. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. We need to protect our thyroid. And then this is just a couple other statistics from the EWG, the Environmental Working Group, and this Defense Council website, that in the United States, we're dealing with more than 80,000 chemicals that are understudied or underregulated. And that of the 3,000 chemicals that are used in excess, like that everybody uses, those products that we all use, only 7% have been tested for safety. And then I pulled this from another site. Just think of those chemicals, and you assume that they are regulated, that 84,000 chemicals. This chemical law, safety law, hasn't been updated since 1976. So that's really where we're at right now. Now there's 3 things I'm going to recommend just for anybody who wants to learn more about this. The first one is this documentary called Stink, S-T-I-N-K. It's a documentary a gentleman did after he lost his wife to cancer. And this was just a screenshot I took from that documentary, just to show kind of a correlation of chemical production over, the course from 1970 to 2010, and the relation of with autism, breast cancer, reproductive problems, diabetes, obesity. So this to me was like, okay, it looks like there's possibly a connection, right? Maybe we should be paying attention to this. So moving into cleaning products, have you read the labels? You know, many of them are loaded with toxic chemicals that can be harmful to us, our pets. The fumes are irritating. A lot of people know that because they're like, oh, when I spray that, you know, it gives me a headache. Well, that's your body just communicating with you that it's bad for you. You shouldn't be using that. And so these are things that we really want to try to avoid. So one of the things that we do use is this On Guard Cleaner Concentrate. And this is just some recipes if you want to take a screenshot of how to use this. I know this bottle for me lasts a very long time because for just the all-purpose cleaner, it's only 2 tablespoons of this for 24 ounces of water. And what really gets me about this is if you're spraying your counters with something, a cleanser, and wiping them, we really should be wiping them with water after because it does leave a residue that is not good for us. And if you were to look at the back of maybe that bottle, what would it say in like the warning, if swallowed, right? If swallowed, call poison control, really call the morgue. If you're swallowing that, you're not going to be doing well for very long. But on the back of our On Guard Cleaner Concentrate bottle, for that caution warning, it says that if swallowed, drink a glass of water to dilute. Drink a glass of water. So it just kind of shows you the difference of the chemicals that are out there versus some of the other options that we might have. Now moving into laundry, we were discussing that before we started recording, but our skin, again, is our largest organ. 60% of what we put on our skin, we are absorbing into our bloodstream, and most laundry detergents emit those VOCs, those volatile chemicals. And the study that was done was about hypersensitivity to people just to laundry products. And the one that really gets me here is 31% had an adverse reaction to those scented products on other people. So it wasn't even their own laundry. They just were around someone and smelled their clothing, and 31% of the 2,000 people that were part of this study had a problem with it. And so the other thing is be careful. You know, a lot of people have become more aware, and they're charging more money for what looks clean, certain brands. And really, when you look into it, it still has potentially harmful chemicals in it. And going back to what does clean really smell like? It smells like nothing, right? It's like Downy is not what clean smells like. Bleach, Fabuloso, whatever those scents are for you in your home where you're like, it smells clean. Clean should not have a scent. And so we do have an option with Dotera's laundry pods. I make my own laundry soap as well. I'd be happy to share that with people if anybody's interested. And then moving into how do we start clearing some of this out? You know, we've been exposed. Some of these forever chemicals don't want to break down. They're stored in our organs. And, you know, a healthy diet is really key because our bodies have these natural detox systems that remove these chemicals. And, you know, for our digestive system, our liver, our kidneys, but it requires proper function, right? We have to have proper function. So that's why we do talk a lot about having proper nutrition and proper digestion. We're working on our gut all of the time. Because that is a key component. And some of the things that we can do, you know, if you're feeling overwhelmed, is ditch and switch. You know, make a better option the next time that you can purchase. Maybe choose more wisely. Look at the back of the bottle, check it out, and see. And of course, Dotera does have some amazing products that are available. And this is the second thing I want you guys to take note of. This is a free app called Think Dirty, Shop Clean. And what you can do is you just open your camera. It has a barcode if you're at the store and you're like, okay, how clean is this product? And you can scan it and it will rate it, you know, 0 to 10. And it will help you make maybe a better decision because some of those chemicals we can't read. We don't know how bad they really are. So this is a good thing for us to have at our fingertips on our phone. And of course, Dotera has an amazing cleaning line called Abode. And I took these 3 slides and made it into one just to keep this more simple on the top 5 bacterias found in the home. And so you can see the Petri dishes there at the bottom, how Abode has been really helpful at eliminating and fighting off those bacteria. And yeah, we have a whole line of Abode cleaning products. So that's fantastic. And then moving into some of the Dotera skincare products, we of course have some amazing products. This is just two of the lines that Dotera has. So those are always a good option if you're trying to make a switch. And then our sun care line. I have had to use sunblock my whole life. I was born with red hair, an Irish girl, and it just was part of my life. And as I hit my 20s, I started realizing how toxic sunblock is. And not just for me, but also for the fish, right? For the environment. And so doTERRA has this broad spectrum line of sun care that does not contain those harmful chemicals for us or for the reefs. And then another way to help our endocrine system is through detoxification. And part of that is our citrus oils, right? They help support the kidneys, the liver, the digestive system. And so we can put this in our water and drink it on a daily basis, and it will help break down some of those chemicals and help our body, support our body in eliminating them. All right, so really the key here, half the battle, I think, is just being aware. We have to be aware and kind of educate ourselves on this. And so I am going to end, this is my last slide, but I am going to end this with a video of the last thing I want to share with you guys. So let me just stop share and reshare. I'm going to share a trailer for another documentary series. I think this originally appeared on HBO Max, I think it was. Yes, HBO Max. And it is available now. Like you can go search through, wherever you watch TV and take a look. But I'm just going to end this by sharing this trailer and encouraging you guys to maybe take a look even further into this topic. So let me go ahead and play this trailer for you guys.
Looking good is all about self-expression. So of course, we should take care of ourselves. And boy, do we. Nails, hair, makeup, lotions, and everyone's getting in on the game. To the tune of $140 billion a year. But sometimes, all these products may do things to us that are not so pretty.
One day, my hair started coming out in clumps.
I have delayed speech. He had no sperm.
You see her hands, the skin coming off.
I felt pains in my abdomen.
I'm scared.
Almost every chemical you can imagine has been regulated except for the chemicals we use in everyday personal care products.
Okay, hold up. Say what now?
One of the biggest buyers of petrochemicals is the beauty industry.
I said, send me a sample, and in all of them I found asbestos.
There's changes in brain development, birth defects, ovarian failure,
Infant mortality.
We're truly at a tipping point.
We know Black women have more aggressive types of cancer. We know we use these chemicals on a regular basis.
This was not one or two people. This was an overlooked epidemic.
You would assume that whatever you're buying, because it's on the shelf, it's safe.
Babies are being born pre-polluted.
There is no one to protect us.
It is one of the big crises of our times.
Kind of crazy, right? And I think about, our little ones that we put nail polish on and things like that, not even realizing how toxic some of these chemicals are. Anyway, so that's it for me. But if we have any questions or anybody wants to share some things that have worked for them or products that didn't work for them, that would be awesome. I'm just going to look.
Hi, I'll share.
Yep, go for it.
I am a professional cleaner, and I have noticed when I clean with chemical products, I have noticed that I always leave and my nose feels like it's inflated. And it feels like I always have to blow my nose when I leave and clear out my respiratory system and all kinds of things. When I try or not when I try. So I have started using natural cleaners that I kind of myself, and I don't have a problem at all. It's interesting that you put up about the chemicals and the chemical products that we clean with. It's amazing, and you can feel the difference in a matter of days. So thank you for sharing that. I am familiar with Dotera products, and I do plan and intend on buying the concentrated cleaner. I use it, but I hadn't been using it in my clients' homes, and I am definitely going to transition to that, especially during this season of the year. I do use it and appreciate it. I just ran out.
Yeah, I hear you. And you know, the thing is switching over for your clients, you're helping you and you're helping them. I was on the lookout before I hired someone that advertised for natural cleaning, and I couldn't find it. So that could be a little niche there, for someone like you to definitely offer that to someone, because I would have loved that with mine. Yeah, awesome.
I agree.
Anybody
Thank
else? Yes, yes.
And
Yes,
might I
Mary.
share also, when
Mhm.
I use the natural cleaners, I don't mean I go and pick up, as you said, natural cleaners off the shelf. I don't do that. I mix it myself at home.
Yeah, and that's more work, but then you know what's in it, right? So it's worth it. It's worth
Exactly.
the
And
effort.
we can pronounce it.
Yeah, right. Mary, did you have a comment?
Yes. Could you share your recipe for laundry soap?
Yes, yes. Let me get that and I can send that to you. Okay.
Thank
I
you.
will. Yep, it's super simple and easy. Kelsey, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, thanks for this class. It's super good. I have the Think Dirty and I use all of doTERRA at home. But one of the things I was going to say for people that are switching is you can always feel safe with doTERRA, because a company at first can start super clean. We've all heard of like Branch Basics, started super clean and then it gets bought out by another company and then other chemicals can get put in. And so that's like one thing we can be very happy with doTERRA is that's not happening at all. Like we can bought it 5 years ago and it's going to be the same as it is now. And so just rely on that as well as this, it's sustainable in staying clean all the time.
Yeah, it makes you feel good, right? You know, you're not going to hurt yourself later on. Jenny, you have your hand up?
Yeah, what was so interesting, I know for me early on, I didn't notice how these cleaners and things affected me, but I saw, the statistics and I'm like, well, let me just do it. And so I started swapping out things maybe 30 to 60 days later so I had swapped everything out and I was using clean things. And then all of a sudden I came in contact with a trash bag that was scented with like the Febreze, and when I opened it, that automatically had a reaction to me. Like I felt like I couldn't breathe. So for me, that was like the aha moment that I was like, even though I thought things weren't affecting me before, after cleaning them out and then being exposed to it again, that was like, okay, I know I did the right thing for myself and my family.
Yeah, it's incredible how that works. When I'm working with clients here and reducing and getting rid of some of those things that are triggers for them, once we get our bodies clean, it's like your body communicates even more. It's like, hey, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be around this. You already got rid of all of this. But yeah, we see that time and time again, Jenny, where the body is like, wait a minute, I don't want Febreze in my life anymore. Yes, Wendy.
I was just going to comment that that's one of the things that drew me to doTERRA because I had really bad problems with my hands and I was always afraid of the smells because I have such an issue with smells. And people were always pulling their little plugins out of the car vents when I'd be in their car because it would just gag me. So I didn't want to try oils. But when I finally did, it's like, oh, this is different. doTERRA is pure. But my hands, I actually, all the little kids I knew would come up to me. They wanted to put super glue on themselves for some reason because I was always putting it on my knuckles and they thought that was cool because I was cracking and bleeding. And it's so painful when you have that problem. But when I switched to the doTERRA products, the hand soaps, and especially love the dish soap. that has made all the difference. So I travel with everything when I go somewhere. I have my little hand soaps the pumps, I take them with me. I even just was at a program in a Kingdom Hall for a week and I brought my hand soap to share with everybody because I can't use what they have in the pumps, but it is a big difference and your skin will love you.
Yeah, well, and you're so sensitive to that. You have to be super careful, but that's such a smart idea. Okay, Marva, you have your hand up?
Were you going to share your recipe personally or in the chat?
I don't have it typed out to put it in the chat. I guess I should have thought of that in advance, but I'll text it to you, Marva.
Okay, then.
Okay. All right. Anything
Joan,
else?
I would love that as well. You know,
Okay, Addie.
so definitely another thing that I wanted to tap into was it was when I went to Texas to visit you. It was when I embraced my gray hair. Because one of the things that we don't talk about quite often is hair dye. And it is extremely toxic to our cells. And we're definitely destroying ourselves, but we constantly do it. Like beauty is in our hair, in our makeup and stuff like that. And I realized I was just opening up another window to cancerous cells and being in remission. I knew I didn't want that for myself again. So switching to Dotera and then realizing that although I was using the oils, it was the products that I was putting on me or utilizing to so-called beautify myself, because society doesn't like gray hair. But I have embraced it, even with the braids.
And you look so good.
Thank you. It was that look that you gave me, like, It was actually you and Trace that she was like, just embrace the gray. And I was like, I haven't dyed my hair since I came back from Texas. So yay to you, Michelle and Trace, for encouraging that and helping me get this journey of helping myself and my children live better lives, and now sharing that with others and helping others do the same. So thank you.
Awesome. Yes, thanks for sharing. Okay. Did you have something else, Wendy, or is your hand? Yeah.
I was just going to add, I had the recipe of your soap and I just put it in the chat. So hopefully that's good.
Perfect.
Typed up.
Perfect. If anybody still needs it, I can text you guys too. But thank you, Wendy. You're awesome. All right. Well, that's all we have for today. We're going to go ahead and close this out. Again, we have these classes every Wednesday. The topic changes every week. So watch our Instagrams for those, or reach out if you want a copy of the invitation. It's the same time every week with the same codes. So we'd love to see you again next week. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good afternoon.